What is up? We're here. Luke, you went away. Bill, there you are. How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you too. I don't even know if I still met you in person yet, but this is a camera away, I guess. Right?
Well, it's good to see you. We talk a lot.
We do. How have you been?
I've been great. Thanks for having me on.
That's great. And what I was describing was, which people don't know, you've helped bring access to investing to millions of people. And what I was bringing the analogy was, there's a company called Plaid, which allows for account integration that you can do for logins. You guys have enabled the hard part of trading into a lot of platforms to open up investing for millions of people. And it's the greatest thing, because people just used to, leave their money in their checking account. And now there's different ways for yield. It doesn't mean you have to always go buy a Tesla. You can go buy dividend yielding companies. You can go buy, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of this, you guys, yes, there were other companies like you, but you guys were the forerunner in being innovative. And could we start with a little brief history of Apex from how you see it, Bill?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So I think one of the things, first, the proof point on this is 30 million accounts, since our inception. We've opened over the course of almost 9 years. And I think the thing I'm most proud of, to your point, is we're democratizing investing. We're providing the ability for people that, frankly, never had the ability to invest to start investing in their future. And that's really important, obviously, right? These are people that, frankly, were cast aside or not given the ability to invest because, quote unquote, they didn't have enough money. And so a little bit of the history of Apex, we founded back in 2012. And at the core, in the beginning, it was, hey, how do you do custody and clearing different? How do you provide a platform for those that are trying to disrupt, those that are trying to innovate our industry? So I'll go back to the godfathers, godmothers of our industry, the likes of the Wealthfronts, the Motifs, the Betterments, right? The Robin Hoods you mentioned, folks like that really kind of started this movement that lowered the barriers to entry. And for us, right, as Apex Clearing, think of us as sort of the Fintech of Fintechs, right? Our job is to allow for others, right? Today, it's the SoFis and the Stashes and the Goldman Sachs Marcuses, the Weebles, to sit on top of us, right? For them to focus on the end customer, the end investor experience, and for us to do all the things behind the scenes, right? And it, because you and I have swapped lots of stories over the years. You know what we do from account opening, obviously through the trading. All that stuff happens, and what we try and do, to the extent possible, is make it all as real time, as seamless as possible.
Yep. And was that always the vision of when this, was this a result of mergers back in the day in 2008? How did Apex come to being, I guess?
Yeah, so we're owned by a company called Peak Six. Peak Six is a investment company out of Chicago. Amazing founders, Jenny Just, Matt Holsizer, and a little bit of the history. They founded a company called Options House, and Options House cleared through Penson Financial. You remember that name? Public company back in the day. Penson Financial, frankly, didn't do a good job, right? Part of the challenge of being a custodian and doing what we do, you got to know how to manage collateral. You need to know how to manage treasury functions. You need to make sure that you follow all the incredibly complicated rules in our industry. Penson ran into major issues, and Peak Six stepped in, bought the assets of Penson. That's what formed Apex back in 2012. And at the time, you had this options house, and it was trying to disrupt mainly the options trading direct to consumer. And the premise was, hey, if anyone looks like Options House, if anyone's trying to do something really disruptive and do something that's going to help the end customer, the end investor, access the markets in a seamless, smarter way, let's give them the ability to do so. Right, so that was back to the Wealthfronts and the Betterments and the Robin Hoods, folks like that. And we've just stayed true to our mission, right, which is to help end investors access the markets, provide that through our customers, which are these B2B players, do things that frankly others won't.
Yep, absolutely. And so your company has grown and empowered a lot of investing. One of the things that's latest and greatest, you guys decided to go public via a SPAC, NTSB. Producer Aaron, it should be up on the screen, but it's not. So put that up there. Thank you.
There you go.
NSTB. It's
NSTB.
NSTB.
I have it tattooed on my arm.
NSTB. Okay, so two questions. Okay, I have to get tattooed on our screen. So the two questions are: how did you choose this one? Because there's a lot of different SPACs you can marry to, and why did you decide now the SPAC route?
Yeah, the first one's really simple. So the two sponsors within NSTB, John Ledecky, Joanna Coles. John's done a number of SPACs, understands exactly the process. He's also, by the way, one of the co-owners of the Islanders. And the connection to Peak Six is that Matt Holsizer, Jenny Just used to be co-owners of a hockey team in the NHL. So they knew each other from the NHL.
So it wasn't just that you wanted good hockey tickets. Okay.
The Islanders are playing well, so I hope to get to some games at some point. But look, it really was about, we're in the financial industry. We understand kind of how things work, and what we wanted was the management team of the SPAC that was going to kind of provide an efficient way for us to get to IPO. Right? That's sort of who we are as a company. We wanted some professionals who understood the SPAC landscape and could get us as quickly and efficiently and smartly and obviously compliant-wise from start to finish as fast as possible. And John and Joanna have been amazing partners. Joanna is actually going to be joining the board of Apex once we IPO. Very nice.
Okay, got it. And so a lot of that makes sense. So the next question is like on the you guys going public, your company enables so many firms, and there's so many more firms you can enable. The growth has been crazy. One of the questions in the chat would be like, okay, Bill, do you worry about companies self-clearing like Robinhood? And I know you've probably been asked that, but I think when people hear from your it'll be helpful for the investor to hear.
Yeah, look, so the short answer is I'm not, right? If we do our job well, there's no reason for folks to go self-clearing. And I said before, there's a perfect marriage, right? So our clients can focus on the end customer experience, right? Eyeballs, and creating this amazing experience for people to manage their money, not just invest, right? So you think about somebody like Stash, right? Brandon Craig and what he's doing there, or the folks at Public. But they're trying to create a sort of a platform for an end customer to manage their money. And that's amazing. It's amazing the barriers that they've lowered in terms of giving people access to markets, giving people banking products. And so their focus is on continuing to sort of provide a great experience for the end customer. Our job is to do all the stuff behind the scenes, make sure all the rules and regulations are done correctly, and do it in a hyper efficient way, right? And so our interests are 100% aligned in terms of what our job is and what their job is. That's part one. Part two is, I think we saw it play out over the last, whatever it is now, it's 13 months, with the likes of Robinhood and some others. What we do is incredibly hard, right? And I think it, Jason, you understand the industry. If Vlad was sitting here and, he's a good friend and a partner of mine for many years, what he would tell you is, first of all, Robinhood wouldn't be in existence if it weren't for Apex from the beginning. And then the second thing he would say is, right, if he was honest, is what we do is friggin' hard. It's really hard to do this. It's easy to do the technology, but the combination of the technology and sort of understanding how the rules and regulations work. And, I said before, you talk about collateral management and treasury and all the sort of things that happen behind the scenes. Marry that with the ability to open an account in 5 seconds or less with no paperwork. That is the superpower of Apex.
Yep.
Right. And for folks to try and replicate that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know Vlad, I know Robinhood wouldn't be where it even close is without you guys, and you guys have been an amazing part of them. And I see we have this hard stop, but there's one question I have to ask. I wish we would have started earlier, but okay. Walmart is exploring becoming a bank fintech, right? What
Yep.
type of services do you offer a company like Walmart?
Yeah, look, I think this is going to be a lot of fun for us, right? Go back to our mission around democratizing investing, around providing ability for people to invest. Walmart has tens of hundreds of thousands, or excuse me, hundreds of millions of customers. What Apex provides to Walmart is a turnkey solution. So they don't have to worry about the brokerage. They don't have to worry about the regulations. What they need to do is focus on the end customer, right? Provide the ability if someone walks into their store and wants to buy a 40-inch screen TV, give them the ability to also invest in their future. And our job is to effectively make that come to life. So Walmart will control the client experience and all that stuff. Think the Oz, right? The sort of man or woman behind the curtain. All that stuff that happens behind the scenes to make that come to life. That's what Apex does.
Got it. I mean, exactly. And they should be contacting you. Do we have time for one more question or no? Because I said
Sure.
one.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, a question they keep asking me in this chat is fractional shares. Will they do both limit and market orders?
We do that today. Yeah. So we were one of the pioneers that started fractional shares. We've been doing it now for 2.5 years. So it's kind of, it's funny. I read about that and I think, I saw Schwab said that they're going to offer fractional shares. Like, that's old news. That's 2018.
And would Apex be prepared to offer instant settlement or change to T+1 for settlement?
Yeah. So the short answer is yes. And what I would tell you is I look at this, I'm pushing, right, for the folks out there, continue to push on this because I think the industry needs that change.
Is it blockchain? It's
obviously a great opportunity for Apex because we're ready for it. But think about today. You buy a stock today, Jason, that thing settles on Tuesday. It's like crazy. Like when you think about everything else in your life, T+2, right? Because the weekend doesn't count in terms of settlement days. So you don't have to settle that trade until Tuesday, which, everything else in our lives is real time. Why isn't this industry? Which again is going to play right to kind of our strength as a company.
Yeah, and you're the thing behind the thing, and I just put it on the thing. Like this is a whole thing that you are, because I do a whole thing like Twilio. I do a whole series. They all follow my thing behind the thing trades. HubSpot. I always buy the thing behind the thing. That's how I've invested my whole life. And people say, why don't you buy the front? Because I believe in the thing behind the thing. Because there's so many things you can do. Insurance, right? You're not. I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of things that Apex is able to do. And I don't think everyone understands the Apex story, because sometimes when you're the thing behind the thing, it takes longer. Twilio was founded by my friend from grew up with him. The stock didn't move for years. And then it's crazy because, your company makes a lot of this stuff. Will you ever be using crypto to do this T+1 settlement, or you don't need to use blockchain?
Well, look, we offer crypto today. And the way we think about it, Jason, is cryptocurrency is just another asset class. And the superpower for us and what we've been able to do is, like, you think about Coinbase, it's like, great, you can go on Coinbase and buy different currencies, but that's all you can do there, right? For Apex, it's a platform, for our customers to be able to offer equities, options, futures, fixed income, ETFs, or mutual funds, and cryptocurrency. Like, why should that be any different in terms of the platform for folks?
It's actually unbelievable what you do. And like people, like I wish we had more time, because I think I can explain it, because I followed you guys for years and what you've done. And I know you're the Peak Six founders. I was at their party 8 years ago when it was like some 80s thing. And I don't even know if you were there, but
you got to come back again. Hopefully we'll have it this year. Come back, Jason.
Hopefully. So, and with the cash, when you raise, with this raise, what do you guys plan to do with it? Other than trying to buy Benzinga, which we're like a 9-digit, Okay.
All right. We'll talk offline about that. Look, two things, simply. One is organic growth. We're going to continue, right? We want to double all, the number of developers within the company over the next 2 years. And then from an inorganic standpoint, again, stick to this platform that I said before, the man or woman behind the curtain. is to continue to add pieces to the puzzle behind the scenes in terms of supporting our customers, right? And there's a number of things that today we outsource. Those things we think we're going to insource. We have NDAs with a whole bunch of companies that I think are good targets for us and are going to be sort of supporting exactly where we've been and continue to kind of drive the future.
Okay. Bill, we appreciate you coming on and love to have you on more.
Anytime.
Because guys, all these questions that you're going to get mad that I didn't ask him, I'll put them together. We'll have our producer put them together. We'll send it to the company because they're good questions. And I think when you understand the Apex story a little more, you'll really get this company, because there's in the chat, there's some good questions. And I think when they understand the answers, people will, it's like, no one got Amazon AWS when it started. Jim Cramer called me the biggest idiot ever when I said you should buy it when they started AWS. And then I believed him. I was 23 years old. I didn't know. Anyways, and this is like the thing behind the thing. Sometimes people don't understand it. So, but guys, Apex is powering. You mentioned like 15, like Stash, Wealthfront, all these companies, Marcus, all these companies are doing trades because of you, right?
That's it.
That's it, guys.
Bud.
And it's going public, and it's a SPAC, NSTB. Bill
NSTB.
Capuzzi. Yep. Thank you for coming on. Let's see each other soon, buddy. And have a great weekend. Okay.
All right, pal. Thanks for having me on. Good to see you.
Yep. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.
All right. Be good.
Yep. You too. Bye.